who you really are. And if a person gives up his personal desires for the sake of that which is higher, that's self-sacrifice on a day-to-day level. Like it says in the Ethics of the Fathers, make your will, that's your desires, to be like his will. Make your will to be like his will. Sounds simple, not simple at all. It's like we used to have a ballet dancer in this class. She got married. And she knew very well what this is all about, because ballet dancing, like gymnastics, is a tremendous discipline.
I did ballet for 14 years.
So you know what it's all about.
Yeah.
Every day your body is stiff and doesn't want to cooperate. And you have to overcome the stiffness and the pain. I remember I said, why did you stop? She says, the pain was too much. You look at the ballet dancers, it's so beautiful. You don't realize how much pain is involved. In my student days, I saw great ballet dancers. I lived in Islam in England. I saw Nureyev dancing with lady, what her name, Fontaine.
Fontaine?
Yeah.
Wow.
She came out of retirement in order to dance with him. He fled communist Russia, leaping in the airport. He leaped over. He could do tremendous leaps. He leaped over all the barriers and ran away. Russia was not too happy about that. He was like an international ballet star. She said the pain. So anyway, so this is the idea of self-sacrifice. I want to tell you a story about self-sacrifice. I know this story personally. It's not my story, but it's a friend of mine who recently passed away. He was from Riga. Anybody here been to Riga?
Where?
In Latvia.
No, I know.
That's on the Baltic, right? The Baltic Sea. He was in the Russian army. His family were able to leave. They came to America. His brother became observant, Hasidic young man who lives in our community at the present day. And his brother told me this story at a bar mitzvah that they made. His brother was not interested in Yiddishkeit, not with a big N-O-T, not interested. And there was a Hasid who lived here across the road at 706 Eastern Parkway.
Wow.
Is that where you live?
No.
And the family, Levin is their name, lived in 888 Montgomery. So it's like the opposite end of Crown Heights. In those days, those were the two extremes, east and west. 888 Montgomery was the eastern extreme, right near Schenectady. And this was his apartment building was on Brooklyn and Eastern Parkway. He was an older man. And every Shabbos, he would walk all the way over there and walk up 4 flights of stairs and invite them to come to his house to join him for a Shabbos meal every week, rain or shine, in the freezing cold winter, in the boiling hot summer. And this went on for quite some time, until finally one day he came over, and this young man was on the phone with his friend, and they had tickets to go to a concert in, I guess it's New Jersey, big stadium there, a Rolling Stone concert, which tickets cost well over $100. They had tickets. They were going to go Saturday afternoon. And the rabbi comes over and he says, invites him to come for the meal for Shabbos. He says, just a minute. He goes in the next room, he picks up the phone on Shabbos and calls his friend, and he says, I can't go. So what do you mean you can't go? We have tickets. I can't go. This rabbi comes every Shabbos to invite me to with my grandmother and my brother to join him for a Shabbos meal. I can't refuse him any longer. I can't. That's Mesiras Nefesh. And that's how he started on his career. He became absolutely the top person working with young kids in the community. He was a bus driver, and he was a great youth worker. He came to Morristown. They convinced him to go to Morristown. They told him, you'll get a college degree if you go there. So he said, okay, I'll go to get a college degree. He dressed up what he felt was appropriately in a suit and a tie. And he went there. He went over to Rabbi Lipsker, who was the head of the program. And he said, my family told me I should come here to get a degree, but I want you to know, you're going to teach me anything about religion, I don't believe in it at all. I don't believe in anything. Rabbi Lipsker said, you came to the right place. You came to the right place. Then he showed him around. And he showed him the mikveh. He said, this is the mikveh. As he looked into it, Rabbi Lipsker pushed him in. But he was very agile. He turned around and grabbed Rabbi Lipsker and pulled him in with him. That was his introduction. Then they had it for bringing. They gave out mashke. Everybody had a little bit of mashke in their cup. He says, you call this a l'chaim? He said, I was in the army. How do you do l'chaim in the army? He says, I'll show you. He took a bottle, put it in between his teeth, and drank down the whole thing. Then he went and retired. That's a story. But it all began with that, with the rabbi who was persistent. Week after week, year after year, went and invited the family to come for a Shabbos meal. Didn't preach, just invited them to come for a Shabbos meal. To give up an expensive ticket to the Rolling Stone in order to have a Shabbos meal with an elderly rabbi, that's Mesiras Nefesh. That's self-sacrifice. And there's lots of occasions in our lives when we're called upon to overcome these little tests of self-sacrifice, when there's something that we know we ought to do, but we feel lazy, we feel not inclined, we don't feel in the mood, and we overcome it. And we tell our Yetzer Hara, listen, my Yetzer Tov is telling me this is what I should do. I can't tell it no anymore. And you don't feel inspired. You feel, I have to do what I have to do. That's Mesiras Nefesh. Back to page 47. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. The souls of the nations of the world, however, okay, but fasten your seatbelts. I told you, this is a tough nut for some people to swallow. Emanate from the other side. Other side in Hebrew is called Sitra Achra. Sitra is side. I think that's probably the etymological root of the word side in English language. Sitra means side. Achra means the other, like acharayim is your backside. Davar acher means other. It comes from the other side, which is impure. If holiness is pure, like kosher meat, it's pure. Okay, it's an animal is called tahar, pure. Family purity, having children in purity, going to the mikveh. People joke, go to someone's house. He says, why don't you have this? This piece of meat was taken to the mikveh. Obviously, it wasn't. The cow was taken to the mikveh. Obviously, that's not what purity is all about. But the opposite of pure is impure. And these impure klippas are the source of life of everything that's forbidden to us. Why do we have to have that? Because if you don't have that, you can never choose to do the right thing. If you don't have the wrong thing there, and it doesn't look interesting, so you didn't achieve anything by not doing it. It's only when it's really interesting looking and really delicious looking and really tempting looking and really available, and you choose not to do it, oh, then you made a choice. So this is a philosophical question. How does God give life to all these impure things? How does he put his life into impure things? Or like the classical philosophical question, is Hashem to be found in the bathroom? In the latrine? Well, Hashem gives life to everything in the whole wide world. You have to say he's there too. But in what degree is he there? How does Hashem make impure things? We're not going to discuss that now. It's the subject of my morning. It's a subject that non-Hasidic thinkers had a lot of trouble with. They had a lot of trouble with. They had to say that, if I'm at the risk of oversimplifying, that Hashem created the world and retreated from those areas that we call impure. So that's why we shouldn't go there, because Hashem really isn't there. But he is there, but not in a revealed or holy way. So these impure klippas, where does the snake get its life? From what? Has a lot of vitality. Where do wild animals that are not permissible for us to eat them get their life? You know how many animals? 10 is the basic DNA number of creation. The world is created with 10 sayings. The Torah is given with 10 utterances. You have 10 fingers, 10 toes. How many kosher animals are there in the world? Take a wild guess.
10.
Good. You're so clever. I know, it's a giveaway. It's amazing. 10 animals. I don't know what they are. I can never remember. I know the gazelle, the giraffe, the antelope, the springbok, the deer. So I got 5.
Sheep.
I have 3 domestic animals are cows and bulls, sheep and rams. That's mommies and tatis. And
Goats.
goats.
Chickens.
Chickens are birds. It's different. Yeah. That's it. 3 sheep and goats and cows. So, and they're the only ones permissible.
What is the ox?
Ox is in the cow family. Ox, a big, strong bull. The only animals you can bring to the Beis Hamikdash for an offering are these 3 animals.
What is a buffalo?
And if you can't, buffalo is a wild animal. That's good. That's number 6. So now we got 6 buffalo. We named 6 wild animals and 3 domestic animals. That's not bad. We only missed 1. Just missing 1.
An elk.
Elk.
Is part of the deer.
Elk is part of the deer. You said like a deer. A moose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they are part of the same family. Anyway, the interesting thing about it is that if we want to bring an offering to the Beis Hamikdash, we don't have to go hunting. This is a kindness of Hashem. Go to the farmer and buy an animal. The Beis Hamikdash, that used to make it easy for you. You could go buy a ticket. And then they had the outlet. You could take your ticket and get the animal that you wanted. If you couldn't afford an animal, then you could take a bird, a pigeon or a dove. If you couldn't afford a pigeon or a dove, you could bring flour, pancake, matzah. Whatever you could afford, Hashem accepted it.
So 3 domestic.
And all these animals get their life from the realm of holiness, the realm of holiness in the lowest world of action. Remember 4 worlds? The world of godliness, world of creation, the world of forms, the world of action. So in the holy levels of the world of action, that's where all these animals get their life. That's called klippus noga. That's a klippa, but it's called noga. Noga means to shine. I believe so. Because they have the capacity to unite with holiness. If they're used in a holy way, how do you know what's the holy way? So you have to learn Torah. If you don't learn Torah, you can't. An ignoramus can't really serve God fully because he's making mistakes the whole time. He doesn't know what's right and what's wrong. Whereas non-kosher animals all get their life from the impure klippas. Now remember, we made a diagram several days ago, so you may have forgotten since then, that just like we saw that there are 4 worlds which derive from the 4 letters of the name of Hashem. Yes, okay. And the highest world represents godliness and holiness itself. And then the other levels represent levels of hiddenness, where on this level here, the holiness is a little hidden. And on this level, the holiness is more hidden. And on this level, the holiness is almost entirely hidden. Not so much holiness and light gets in, right? So the less light there is, the more hiddenness there is, the more substantial the world is. The less godliness is apparent. So the less you think about it, and it's harder to be involved with God, and it requires an effort. Up here, it doesn't require any effort. This is a realm of angels that only do what they're supposed to do, according to the commands of God. Here is the only area where you have choice. Only in this world of darkness is it possible to make a choice. Angels can't make choices. Okay, now we have the other side. Just like we have 4 levels, all these levels have godliness in them, right? Your soul comes from one of these levels. Ultimately, your soul comes out on this level, but this level is really already contained in potential here, and this is contained in potential here, and this is contained in potential up here. It's not revealed, it's potential, but not revealed. What's revealed comes down there. Now we have here also 4 levels of klippa. This is the world of klippa. Klippa is the peel. The peel hides the fruit. Those of you who like bananas know that banana peels, we don't eat them, but you don't choose a banana without a peel. Nobody wants a banana without a peel. So the peel has a value to it. So the highest level here of klippa is like, it's the spider image, it's the opposite, equal opposite through the looking glass. Right? Everything has its opposite counterpart. What is this again? We have some new students in the class today.
It's a spider.
Spider doing
Push-ups.
Push-ups
On the mirror.
on the mirror. Okay. So the mirror image here is the highest level of klippa. Then we've got 1, 2, 3 levels of klippa beneath them, and the Torah is, Hasidus is not going to talk too much about them. We just don't want to have anything to do with them. And they are this is the source of alligators and crocodiles and snakes and scorpions and mosquitoes and gnats and all of the nasty and unpleasant things. And crime. and evil doings. So it's all when a person does a transgression, it's like he is taking his life, which comes from a holy source, and comes down to the outlet, and that's a plug, yeah. And you plug it in right there. Oh no! And that's what's happening. That now the life is surging through you from these impure, unholy levels. And the Yetzer Hara said, you're going to love it. And you will. But that is the hangover. You're not going to love that. And really, even when you're loving it, you're not loving it. And the testimony to that is in every drugstore. When you go through the cash out, you see all these pictures of lovely people who are not happy people. Not happy people. So this is what he says here. The souls of the nations of the world, where does their life come from? Our life, the souls of the Jewish people come from this level. This is called Klippa. That's a level of Klippa. It's not holy in and for itself. It's not evil in and for itself. It's just a hiding. It's the highest level of hiding. And it's called Klippas Noga. Okay, we're going to learn in chapter 7 that Klippas Noga is the source of life of everything in the world that's permissible. All the kosher food is from Klippas Noga. Sports, shopping, hiking, a trip to the country, pleasant things in life, all get their life from Klippas Noga. Not holy, but not bad.
I don't really understand what Klippa Noga is. Like, how the Yud has Klippa?
Because it's godliness is hidden there. You don't see godliness in an apple, or in a banana, or in a yogurt. Breakfast.
But the Yud, we see
Cup of
more
coffee.
gods, no? We don't see.
But if you say a bracha on it, if the meat is shechted properly, salted properly from a kosher animal, and you say a bracha on it before, and you remember to say a bracha after, that's a big thing, girls. You got to really work on that. To remember to say a bracha after eating, that is a big challenge and test in life. It's not just for Tanya 101, it's forever and ever. Like I told you once, every time we saw the Rebbe make a blessing after eating at a Farbrengen, he had some cake and wine, he would take a siddur and say bracha in the siddur. Okay, so when you do that, then the life that was in this food that you ate, which was kosher food, can go up and be included in a realm of holiness, depending on where you are at, intellectually and emotionally at that time. It could be a lower level, it could be a higher level, it could be a very, very high level. You know, Erev Yom Kippur, we do kaparas. Sometimes the chicken squeals, and sometimes it runs away, and sometimes it does something else. When the Rebbe would do kaparas, the chicken would sit in his arms very calm and quiet. To be the Rebbe's kapara, it's a big schus. The chicken must have known. Okay, so, but the souls of the nations of the world, however, emanate from the other unclean klippas which contain no good whatsoever. The Jews used to live, I'm going to be very harsh now. There was a large Jewish population in Vienna. And when the Germans came to Vienna, they called out all the Jews and lined them up on the edge of the Danube.
It was in Budapest.
What?
It was in Budapest. No? They
Could
did it
have been in Budapest too.
We
And
have
they just
delivered
machine
shoes.
gunned them all.
Yeah. like the sculptures, the shoes.
Where does the life come from to do such a thing? Okay. Hashem knows what he's doing. Don't ask me to explain anything. I don't explain. I can't apologize for him. But that's what it says here. The souls of the nations of the world come from Shar, the other klippas, which are tameis, which are tame, that's impure. She'en behem tov klal, they have no good in them. Now you're going to ask a question. Why do they have no good in them? I know non-Jews who are good people. And indeed, there were non-Jews who risked their lives and even were killed for helping Jews, saving Jews. Very, very few in comparison to the numbers, but the worst, and they, it says, deserve to achieve a soul from Klippas Noga, that their soul can come from here up into here, and then through doing the mitzvahs incumbent on all the non-Jewish people of the world, which are called the 7 nations, the 7 mitzvahs of the children of Noach, which is all the people of the world, they can merit to enter into these realms of holiness, which is called the world to come. But that is coming to a level that's higher than ego, higher than self, transcending the self. And this is what it says in Eitz Chaim, 49th gate, that the good that you see, you know people who are good people, not Jewish people, your neighbors, they're good people, they're kind, you like them, they like you have good relations with them. Deep down, it says here, there's selfish motives. They do it because they feel good, because it makes them feel virtuous. And there's a very subtle level, because and my Jewish friends who do a good deed, you think they don't feel virtuous? When the kids go on Mitzvayim, you think they don't feel that they're doing something good, or they feel that they're going to be connected to their Rebbe and they want that, or they feel, even if they're not Hasidim, that they're going to get the world to come. So isn't that selfish? Isn't that just a higher form of selfishness? You're just doing it for what's in it for you. Not because you love Hashem, it's because you love yourself. And that's correct. That's correct. That a lot of a lot of mitzvahs that Jewish people do, they don't do for Hashem, they do it for themselves. I don't want to put on tefillin with you because you don't care about me. You're doing it because you want to have so many tefillin that you put on tefillin with people, or you bench lula with so many people. The Rebbe says, it's right. You should do it anyway. You should do it anyway. And there's a general rule in the Torah, which I'm going to insert here in the whole discussion. And there's a general rule, it's a very profound rule, which is you should always do a thing, even for the wrong reason. If it's the right thing, do it for the wrong reason. Don't wait till you can do it for the right reason. You might never get there. Do it for the wrong reason. By doing the good thing for the wrong reason, eventually you could come to do it for the right reason. Maybe. No guarantees. There's no guarantees in this life. But if you don't start doing a thing for the wrong reason, the guarantee is you'll never do it for the right reason. It's like anything. Anybody here know how to ski, water ski, or ride a bicycle, or do gymnastics, or do any sort of tricks or things like that? The first time you got on a bicycle, you didn't know how to balance. I remember my father held the seat and ran behind me till I could outpace him. Then I could ride. And similarly, with any others, learning how to write nicely, have nice handwriting, learning how to write clearly so people can understand what you're trying to say. Learning how to dress, learning how to speak, learning how to behave. People make mistakes. The only way you learn is by making mistakes. So the only way to come to do a thing for the right reason is to do it for the wrong reason. And to get better, practice, don't give up. You want to ride a horse, you fell off. What do you do when you fall off a horse? You get right back up on, or else you'll never ride the horse again. So the same thing in terms of good deeds and Torah and mitzvahs and serving Hashem. You feel you're not serving Hashem with the whole heart. You know you're supposed to serve Hashem with the whole heart, and you're not doing it. Maybe you're not doing it with any heart. Maybe you're doing it just going through the motions. Is that what I want out of Yiddishkeit, just to go through the motions? No, of course not. But if you didn't get a good night's sleep and you didn't learn Hasidus beforehand, you're not feeling inspired, what do you expect? At least go through the motions. You're going to wait till you have the right feeling in your heart before you give a poor person a donation? You could starve to death while you're working on your feelings. The story in the Talmud of a sage, Nochem Ish Gamzu, he was taking food to his son-in-law, to his daughter's Sheva brachos. And he had a donkey or some animal, beast of burden, loaded up with good things. And a poor person said, Rebbe, could you please give me something? He says, just a minute. Let me, like this, my wife says all the time, rak rega, just a minute. Just a minute. Let me unload the donkey. I'll be happy to give you. While he was unloading the donkey, the guy perished. He was so distraught. The Gemara describes what happened, how distraught he was. So do a thing for the wrong reasons. Do it for your ego. Do it for your selfish motives. Do it because it makes you feel good. Do it because you want to be virtuous. Do it because you want to get the world to come. Do it because you want to be a chassid. Do it because you want a good shidduch. Do it. And you say, obviously, no, that's how every good thing a non-Jewish person does, he does like that for selfish reasons. And he never goes beyond and never does anything just for Hashem. That's what it's saying here. Because that quality of doing things just for Hashem can only be motivated by Hashem himself. So you have to have Hashem himself revealed in you. That's the godly soul. So it goes on to say, the bottom of page 47, Chesed le'umim chatos. Remember I told you, how do we know anything? We don't know it. We can't know anything, just philosophy, your philosophy. Who says your philosophy is right? Someone else has a philosophy that's different. So the only thing we know is things that are given to us down through the ages from the most reliable sources, which is our Moshe Rabbeinu and the prophets, and the sages of the Talmud, Mishnah, and the Talmud, and the great teachers who had divine inspiration throughout the generations. If they tell us something, we can rely on it. So it says in the Talmud, Chesed le'umim chatos, the kindness when a non-Jew does kindness, it's a sin. Take a person. Here in America, there's a big street runs through the whole of Manhattan called the FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Everybody thinks he's a great person. He became president of the United States at a time of the Depression, and he did many good acts to pull the nation out of its economic disaster and to set the America back up on its feet. But you know what happened? There was a boat that took on packed full of Jewish people who had saved up the money and somehow merited to get a ticket to go sail out of Europe on that boat in the very beginning of the Holocaust. And they came to America. And Mr. Franklin Delano Roosevelt said, "We're not letting them in." And they were sent back, and they all perished in the concentration camps. So this is what it says, the kindness of the nation is a kind man. Is that what a kind man does?
No.
The kindness is sin. What's the sin? The sin is pride. They feel good. And the Gemara, the Talmud goes on, all the charity and kindness done by the nations of the world is only because for self-glorification. Concerning the nations of the world, here's the page 48. Let's read this together. Is not the motivation of most, okay, nations of the world and the goodness that they do is not the welfare of their fellow. It stems from a motive of self-gratification, feeling no good about yourself. It should be noted, the Rebbe adds, that among the nations of the world, there are also to be found, this is very, very important little paragraph here, those whose souls derive from Klippus Noga. They are called the pious of the nations of the world, and these righteous individuals are and can be kind not out of selfish motives, but out of a genuine concern for their fellow, genuine concern to be connected to God. Very, very important little paragraph stuck in at the end of chapter 1. Very important. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Remember to give your tzedakah.
We already did.
Okay, Sarah, here, come. Give